right in my backyard. There's trees everywhere, and there's hills, and there's deer, and you hear the coyotes at night.
We're surrounded by so much natural beauty. It's so accessible.
You can just go up for hikes, and sometimes you're above the clouds.
You're kind of in the perfect balance between like city and also like nature, so it's a perfect suburb.
And we're just so close to so many cultural centers in California and centers of technology, and really the world is at our fingertips in Marin County.
I think that's one thing that Marin has to offer, is a lot of different types of places you can be within this county.
Marin is a magical place. Standing on any high ridge in Marin, you can see the protected natural landscape that spreads out beneath your feet for miles and miles. No matter where you live, there's a trail or a park within walking distance. All this did not come about by accident. The protection of Marin's wild spaces has been driven by the vision of conservationists and the generosity of the community. In 1972, a new county-wide plan restricted much of West Marin for open space and agriculture. The plan limits growth to protect precious open lands and balances that restriction by focusing new developments in the city-centered corridor, where Marin's early towns grew up around rail lines and train stations. Today, 80% of Marin County is protected open space. But achieving the balance envisioned in the plan is not so easy. Preserving open spaces means concentrating housing, commerce, and transportation in the city-centered corridor. How do we provide options for our children, our workforce, and our seniors to live here as we strive to reduce our carbon footprint and address climate change? How do we retain the character of our communities as the world changes around us? We asked young people, high schoolers, college students, future leaders of their generation to talk with us about their experiences growing up here, what's important to them, what they love about Marin, and what they see ahead.
Marin is very consistent, and that's kind of what scares me.
You know, there's places like right on the other side of the bridge where it's hard. You know, it's really, really hard for people. Living here in Marin, I think it's so easy to lose sight of struggles that are outside of our bubble.
It's very easy to ignore other communities if you've been sheltered most of your life.
Some groups in Marin County are often underrepresented.
And I think a lot of the time we tend to look the other way and turn our shoulder.
The disparities are real, and those disparities we see it, we feel them, we live them. It's hard to buy a house in Marin. As much as we love to live in Marin, it was hard for me.
You know how it is. It's so expensive.
If it wasn't as expensive to live here, it'd probably be a little bit more diverse.
Whenever I tell people, like, I work for Boys and Girls Club, they're like, oh, there's a Boys and Girls Club in Marin? There's poor people in Marin? Like, yeah, there's people everywhere that need help, you know, and here in Marin specifically, it's easy to kind of overlook those people because it's not right there in your face.
Stereotypes of Marin is very rich and very well off and very, well off. So I don't know if that's like what Marin is looking for, and that's why I don't know like if they are looking to make Marin more diverse or just a place that is very well off and expensive but is comfortable that way.
I prefer to be in a setting where there are people that are different, where people's different beliefs provoke thought, you know, and you're able to kind of interact with people and see why they think certain ways.
That kind of can be hard for youth, like growing up in just a community that is so safe and so well off and so kind of comfortable, and then having to leave, and it might be tough to kind of adjust to new situations and new people and just so much more diversity.
I would say to make this Marin better for everyone and expanding like who can live here and the possibilities for all like the generations, like young people and also old, so that there's activities that people can do at night and also things for people who are retiring.
Working at the Boys and Girls Club, I work with youth from everywhere, from the highest income families to the lowest income families. And what I love seeing at my job is it doesn't matter how much your parents make, it doesn't matter what brand name you wear. What matters is that you want to play a game and it takes two, is really what makes this community work.
Just walking down the street, just in Santa Fe, walking down 4th Street, and just seeing everything alive, really like farmers market Thursday nights, and you go down and they have all the stalls and everything. I feel like the county is alive, and it's not just a stagnant place. We're always evolving.
Moving forward, I think Marin has a bright future. People are actually paying attention now.
What is more concerning than things changing is them staying the same.
You have to be ready to adapt and change and not settle into regular old politics as it used to be.
If you're interested in policy, getting into politics, we don't need any more politicians. We need more statesmen and stateswomen. And that's something I'd really stress too. Too often, you see nowadays in Congress, the political parties are so polarized. No one wants to work together. We're not that generation. I don't think any of us want to be that generation.
It's not enough just to point fingers. We cannot keep pointing fingers for what is wrong. It's that we have to find solutions together.
But I think that if we have proper role models, if we begin to inform the populace, we should be fine and we should be moving in the correct direction.
You know, my dad growing up always told me, you are not here to see the change, you are here to be the change. And that, you know, he's always telling me cute little cheesy quotes like that. And as cheesy as they may be, they really help me move forward.
You have to keep active and keep working on something. I think that all ties into keeping on the gas pedal with improving things in Marin, whether it be bringing back certain, places for kids to go so they don't just, stay home or turn to something bad. Because especially in the future, even now, you see these problems that can't be solved by a single person, and then you need to work together with other people, and it's only going to get worse in the future. And so my wish would be that the leaders of the future see this, and so from their youth, the young age that they start to make change with other people, because it's going to be much more efficient, much more effective, and they're going to do a lot more.
And that's something that youth have. We're not afraid to reach across the aisle and work together and compromise and come up with solutions to problems.
I would remind my future self not to be afraid of change, that change could definitely be for the best. And even though it may not be change that directly impacts my life, it can make all the difference to someone else.
We have a lot of problems. We're going to fix them. I think we're going to fix them.
There's something good coming for all of us. Just work hard and hold on.
Somebody said you got to leave Marin to know what you got.
Exactly. That's so true.
I'll definitely come back to Marin and raise a family here. And also, I know that my parents always say they're going to stay in Mill Valley for the rest of their life, so I'll come back for them too.
When I move back, push to get youth more into the system, because I know we're doing that now, but even in the future, if it's not where it needs to be, then just push so that they have an equal say in what happens in our community. Throughout middle school and high school and elementary school, I've been here and I've loved it. And I went away for college, and I've come back, and it's hard not to want to come back here.
The community of Marin County is beautiful, and I'd love to live here. I'd be blessed to live here again. But we'll see what the future has in store for not just me, but all of us.
In this short segment, we've heard from our young people about what's important to them. The beauty of the natural environment, the quality of life in our community, the challenges in finding a place to live in a community that they love, avoiding stagnation and embracing diversity. Who are we as a community, and what do we value? Do we believe that when all of us do better, all of us do better? Or will we be guided by unfounded fears? Do we truly value the hardworking people that make up the beautiful tapestry of our community? Do we have compassion for the homeless members of our community? Or is caring for the poor something we only pay attention to and give lip service to in our places of worship? And finally, what future do we wish for our children and our grandchildren? Do we want them included in our community as they grow into adults? Do we want them to thrive? This county has had a history of visionary leaders who've not been afraid to rock the boat and move policy, often pushing against those who did not want to change the status quo. People like Vera Schultz and her work in creating the Civic Center. The visionary county planners and elected officials and community leaders of the 1970s who created the earliest visionary sustainability concepts in the first general plan and who targeted coastal and rural agricultural lands for protection while designating inland urban transit corridors as the appropriate places for our growth and development. There's much work ahead, and my wish is that the members of this beautiful county tackle these tough issues from a place that begins with a loving heart, an open mind, and a goal towards solutions.